Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I'm here to tell you about all the things that I've been loving the past few months. So last fall, things got a little bit crazy for me. In order to create a little bit more time in my schedule, I went from doing 4 videos a week to just 3 videos a week. And that resulted in a couple things getting cut. And one of those things was my monthly favorites video. And I have had a lot of you request that I bring them back. And given how many videos I do on a monthly basis or even just a regular basis, there's just not time in my schedule for a monthly favorites video. But I thought that I would meet you halfway and do a quarterly favorites video. So starting this year, I'm gonna commit to, at least for the remainder of 2020, doing a quarterly favorites video. And I thought that it would be fun to create a little bit of a structure to it. Instead of just randomly walking around my house and picking out all the things that I've been loving, I decided to create 10 categories, and I'm gonna tell you my favorite. I could say 1 item, but some of them have 2 or 3 items in each of the categories for this quarter, and then I'll do the same for the rest of the year. So the categories are reading, listening, watching, wearing, cooking, planning, pampering, cleaning, doing, and loving. So let's start with the first one, which is reading. I have actually not read as much this year as I originally intended. If you remember back at the very beginning of the year, when I talked about my 2020 goals, I talked about one of the things I was gonna do was read a book related to each of my quarterly goals. I haven't done that. I have read a decent number of books so far this year, like 5 or 6 maybe, but not as many as I originally planned, and definitely not the books I'd originally planned. Different books have kind of popped up here and there, or I put a bunch on hold at the library, and the ones that were available are the ones that I read. And I haven't read any books this year that I feel like I really need to recommend. Like, they were good, and if you follow me over on Goodreads, you can see what I've been reading, and I will give it a star rating. I don't typically write like a lengthy review, but I'll rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 if you want to see what I have been reading. But the one book I do want to talk about that I have been loving so far this year is The Daily Stoic. And this is a book that has a page for every single day. You can see it's not that long. It doesn't take me that long to read, and it just sort of wakes my mind up a little bit and gets me thinking. So if you're not familiar with Stoicism, it is a philosophy that has a lot of core principles. One of the most important ones is focusing on what you can control and not worrying about what you can't. There are a lot of other facets to the philosophy as well, and this book has really been helping me just sort of shift my mindset about things. And really during this crazy time right now, it has been helping me a lot. Dig deep and really think about, okay, how do I approach this from a mindset perspective? What can I control? What can I do with this time besides just like dwell on all of the uncertainty and all of the negativity? And truthfully, I'm only a quarter of the way through it because it is a page per day for the entire year, but it is one of my favorite things to start my day with, and you don't have to start it on January 1st. In the intro, he even says, if you're picking this book up on a random day, you flip to that random day and start there and then loop, you know, your entire way around. And I likely will go back and reread it again next year because I've already forgotten what January 1st was. And it's so much good knowledge that it doesn't hurt to hear it again and again. So I've just been really loving this. It's a great way to start my morning, and I would definitely recommend it. The author, Ryan Holiday, I've also been loving his podcast, which I'll talk about. He also has a lot of other books that are on my to-read list that I haven't gotten to yet. All right, speaking of podcasts, instead of picking just one favorite one or one new one, I'm just gonna run through my podcast list for this quarter because it's been a long time since we did favorites videos. And some of these podcasts I have mentioned in really old favorites videos, but I just thought I would run through the list of the podcasts that I'm keeping up with right now. And then in future favorites videos, I'll share new favorite podcasts if I've discovered any. But for now, I'm just gonna give you my list of current favorites that I literally listen to these every time that they come out. So The Financial Confessions from The Financial Diet, One Step from Ingrid Nielsen, the Speak to Scale podcast from Jessica Rasdall, The Fear Boss Show from Judy Holler, By the Book, which I talked about a lot, Cultivate Your Life with Laura Casey, The Daily Stoic with Ryan Holiday, Detail Therapy with Amy Landino, The Lazy Genius podcast, Pantsuit Politics. This one especially has been huge during this current time. Pantsuit Politics is 2 friends who have differing political views that come together to talk about the political climate, elections, etc., with views from both sides and just talking about it with a grace mindset. That's what they talk about, grace-filled politics. It's incredible. If you want more information on what's going on politically, I highly recommend this podcast, regardless of which way you lean. The Perfectionism Project with Sam Laura Brown, the Power Sheets Prepcast, also with Laura Casey, and Skim This from the Skim. That one also during this current time has been so helpful, keeping me up to date on the news with what's important, because there's just a lot of news right now. And so I love the Skim podcast every single day, Monday through Friday for 10 to 12 minutes, just like, here are the highlights and here's what you need to know. All right, the next category is watching. And we've been watching a lot of things. We've been watching a lot of TV. We're stuck at home, so we're gonna watch a lot of TV. And I have been watching a lot of like movies that make me happy, like The Princess Diaries and The Parent Trap, like just movies that I love that bring me joy. And we're also trying to watch all the Marvel movies like in chronological order. So those might be a favorite down the road because we're not even put a dent in them yet. So those have a long way to go. But there is one new show that we started watching during this quarter that I want to recommend, and that is Lego Masters. It is just, it's entertaining. It's a reality competition show, but it is so impressive. The things that they create with Legos is amazing. Also, yes, I learned that the plural form of Lego is Lego. I'm still not getting on board with that. I like to say Legos, but the show is great. So if you're looking for just something quick and entertaining, definitely kid-friendly, and it's just super impressive. All right, the next category is wearing, which is super funny because all I've been wearing, except when I'm like filming a video, is comfy clothes. I am not the person that puts on real clothes if I'm not going anywhere. I like to be comfortable and I can be productive in comfy clothes. So my two favorite comfy clothes pieces right now are these incredibly soft tops from Old Navy. Holy moly. They're so soft. And I got them in the extra large, so they're a little bit bigger. I typically wear a large if I'm wearing a shirt like that I want to be fitted or look nice. But for these, I got the extra large because I wanted them to be comfortable. I actually got them back in the fall. We went to Old Navy to get some things for our trips, and I got two back in the fall to be my plain shirts for my super long international flights. And then they went on sale again in December because Old Navy always puts things on sale, and I got two more. So I actually have this shirt in 4 colors. And that barely gets me through the week. Although I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I wear it 2 days in a row. But I love these. These are my favorite shirts, and like when these are all dirty, then it's time to do laundry. Same thing goes for these pants. I don't know if they're made from the same material, but man, these are the softest pants I've ever owned. I got these on a whim years ago. My mom, my sister were in town and we were just kind of window shopping, and we popped into Aerie for whatever reason. I don't know, they had a sale or whatever, and my sister is younger, so she was likely shopping there. And so we were kind of looking around and we all felt these pants, and they were just the softest pair of pants. We all ended up buying them that day. And then later that year for Christmas, my mom got me a second pair. So I have 2 pairs of these as well. And same thing, I think, yeah, I also have these in an extra large, which is pretty normal actually for my bottom. I usually need an extra large unless it's like a skirt like that's around my waist and not my legs. But if it's my legs, I usually get an extra large if you're interested in sizing. But these, oh, they're just so soft. And then Sam always kept trying to steal them, so I got him his own pair. All right, the next category is cooking, which I've been doing a lot of given this current time. But truthfully, I haven't been doing a ton like outside the box cooking. I've been trying to keep it simple because it's happening every single day. Because we are at home and we can't go out to restaurants, I'm trying to keep it simple since it has to be so frequent. But one of the things that has kept me totally sane is HelloFresh. Not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I have been buying my own HelloFresh box. I started last year at some point, but I really got consistent in January and started buying it every single week in January, and it has just been the best during this time. And I know that people have differing thoughts on getting things delivered right now, and my opinion is as long as you're safe and you're wiping things down or spraying things down and washing your hands, that you can still get things delivered. And it saved my sanity, as well as keeping a company that I really enjoy during normal times in business. And so it allows me to have 3 meals a week that I don't have to think about. 3 meals that they're already planned and all I have to do is cook them, and I don't have to pick out the groceries, and it makes it so much easier. And yes, it's a little bit pricey, but what I do to kind of help with that, and I've talked about this in my weekly vlogs before, is I will add more of a vegetable to the meal and split it up into 4 portions instead of 2. So for the 2 of us, instead of just having 2 pretty large meals, their portions are usually pretty big, I will split it into 4 and then add more of a vegetable to add substance and make it more filling. And then now we have 4 servings, which makes it less expensive and gets it further. And then we usually just eat those leftovers for lunch the next day. There are a lot of other meal delivery options, so maybe you have one that you like better. I've been using HelloFresh because they offer delivery on Sundays, and it's just easier easier for me to make sure that it gets delivered and I'm home to receive it. I mean, right now I'm home all the time, but before all of this happened, it was the best for my schedule. And so I just consistently kept using HelloFresh. There's one other thing in the cooking category I want to talk about, and that is the coffee that I have been loving. If you watch the weekly vlogs, I've talked about this too, but I have been loving the Four Sigmatic coffee. Totally not sponsored. I know they sponsor a lot of YouTube channels. That's how I found out about them, is they were sponsoring a channel that I watch all the time. And I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. And so I ordered, I don't know, a pack with their discount code just to try it. And this was like years ago. Man, maybe like a year and a half ago. And I loved it. I love the way that it tastes. I don't know, there's something about it. They claim that the ingredients in here are supposed to help you be more focused, and it could be a placebo effect, but I really do feel like when I need to be in the zone, if I make a cup of this, it is just, it's the best. The other thing I really love about it is how easy it is to make. I do have a Keurig, and Keurigs are super easy too, but I have very limited counter space. And having that Keurig take up all that counter space in my very small kitchen is annoying, frankly. And so the fact that all I have on my counter is a kettle, which I already had on my counter because I really like to make tea. And so I will pour this into a cup and then pour the hot water from the kettle. It's very easy and it doesn't take up a lot of space on my counter. The other thing that I've been doing is making it a latte. So it is technically coffee, it's not an espresso, but if I'm gonna add milk to my coffee anyway, I might as well make it frothed milk. And so I have a milk frother that my dad got me for my birthday years ago, and I wasn't doing a good job of using it. Again, counter space. But now that the Keurig is put away and I had counter space, I brought the milk frother out. And so what I've been doing is making this and frothing milk, and it just feels like a really decadent treat. And I'm not the person that got coffee at a coffee shop every single day that I'm not getting now. So it's not like I was having a latte every day and now I want to have one at home. It's just one of those things that while we're at home and just having something that feels a little bit more special is just super convenient. You can get these on their website, which they usually they have sales a lot, so I would follow their website if you're interested. You can also get them on Amazon, but I found that they ship pretty quickly from their website. All right, the next category is planning. I can't have a favorites video and not talk about my favorite planner stuff. And this quarter, definitely my favorite planner tool was my coiled Daily Petite. The Daily Petite planner from Erin Condren is working for me. The structure, having a space every single day to write things down that I want to do, or just notes. I've been writing notes to myself so I don't forget, tracking my water. It's been really helpful for me, and I have been using it so far in quarter two, but it's not coiled. But the coiled version that I made in the first quarter was the best thing ever. So I have a vlog where I talk all about how I did this. Essentially, I just went to Office Max and they cut it, and then I put it in its own orders. And it wasn't just the Daily Petite. So it was the Daily Petite dated, and then one page of the undated daily that I used for the weekend, the wellness planner, one page from the wellness planner, which I didn't always use, but it was nice to have it in there, the habit tracker, and then it went back to the dated Petite daily. And it was just the perfect setup for me to have those different ones combined instead of having them all individually and having to flip back and forth. I also just love a coil. I love being able to flip it around and write like this instead of having it in the sewn binding. So getting this coiled was the best thing that I did in quarter one. I will give an honorary mention to the Daily Petite in general, because even though it is not coiled, I have used this every single day so far in quarter two, and it has been really helpful. So I still love it, even if it's not coiled. I just prefer it to be coiled. There's two more things in the planning category that I have to talk about. And the first one is the pen that I've been loving in my Daily Petite planner, and that is the Micron 03. This is a magical pen. It somehow writes thick. I like a thick pen, and I can press down super hard and it still doesn't ridge on the other side or shadow on the other side. I don't know what kind of ink it is, but it's magical. And so this is my favorite pen, and specifically the 03. Anything smaller I found is not thick enough for me, and the 05 is almost too thick. It's been a while since I tried it, but I really think the 03 is the best for me, and this is the only pen that I use in my Petite planner. The other thing I have to talk about in the planning category is my Google Cal. I have been loving my Google Calendar. I don't know what it is. I have never in my life figured out how to make a digital planner work for me until this year. It is the perfect complement to all of my paper planning. And I have a whole video explaining how I use my Google Cal, what I use it for, and how my entire planning system works together. So if you are interested in that, go check out that video. I think that I hope that I did a good job explaining how it all works for me, but I couldn't get through a quarter one favorites video without talking about my Google Cal. All right, the next category is pampering, and I thought that it would be fun to have a category where I talk about any beauty products that I've been loving this quarter. But truthfully, this quarter, there's nothing new. I haven't been using any new products, hair, makeup, skin, otherwise, to share with you. I've just been using, well, recently I've been using none of it because I haven't been really getting ready except to film videos. So the thing I'm gonna talk about is actually a pampering kind of action or tip that I've been loving this quarter, and that has been brushing out my curls with an actual brush. I have always struggled to figure out how to curl my hair with a curling iron and then have it fall out so that it looks good, so it doesn't look super tight, but still have them look like curls. Like I've struggled with that for a very long time. And I got this tip from Angela at the Thrifty Pineapple. She's been talking about this for a long time, and I just always thought that brushing out my curls wouldn't work for me. I thought I have thick, kind of frizzy hair, like if I brush through it, it's just gonna turn into like a bad perm and it's just not gonna look good. I was wrong. Brushing out my curls, it separates them, it makes them look softer, and they don't fall and they don't get frizzy. Like I don't know what it is, but it totally works for me. And I just discovered this like less than a month ago, and I'm so sad that I like am not doing my hair all the time because I just love it. I mean, I could do my hair all the time, but that seems like a waste given I'm not going anywhere. Okay, the next category I labeled cleaning, but really it's just anything home related, anything in my house that I felt like has made my life easier. And the thing I want to talk about this quarter is this guy. This tray has made such a difference to me this year. I was inspired to get this from Cindy at Llama Letters. She got one at like TJ Maxx or Marshall's or one of those places. And so I went on a hunt on Amazon and found one that was very similar to hers. So it has 3 different sections, and the back one I have my content planner, the middle one I have my power sheets, and then this one I have my Moxie Life, and the front one I have my Moxie Life planner in, and then I keep all my favorite pens and scissors and rulers on the side. It is the best. It has allowed me to see my planners at all times. It's allowed me to keep my desk more organized instead of having planners all over the place. It has been my favorite home purchase this quarter. All right, the next category is doing, and this category is going to be the new habits that I have adopted this quarter that I have been loving. I used to do this with my monthly favorites videos too, are new habits that I've been loving, and so I wanted to carry that over to the quarterly version too. I have 2 habits to talk about this quarter. The first one is great, but not as applicable right now, and that is taking off my makeup as soon as I get home from work. When I am working out of the home, which is not right now, when I get home from work, my level of exhaustion is a downward slope. I'm usually already pretty tired after commuting and working all day, but then I significantly get more tired as the evening goes on, and it feels like it happens pretty quickly. And so by the time it's bedtime, the energy that I have to take off my makeup is just gone, and I don't want to deal with it. It's too much work, and most of the time I was just sleeping in my makeup because I was too tired. Not because I didn't have time or it was too late. Like I was going to bed at my normal time. I was just too tired to take my makeup off, which is bad. Okay, don't yell at me. So what I started doing back when I was going to work was as soon as I would get home from work, I would take my makeup off right then and there when I changed out of my work clothes, because I always changed out of my work clothes anyway, so I might as well also take off my makeup at the same time. Then my skin was clean, and even if I didn't take the time to do the rest of my nighttime skincare before I went to bed, at least the makeup was off. Now, I realize that that habit doesn't really apply right now, although if you are wearing makeup every day, I know a lot of people are because they either have work video calls or they just like the way that it gets their day started. So if you are putting makeup on every day, try to, when you transition from work to the evening time, take off your makeup before you get too tired. The other habit that I've been loving this quarter is not allowing myself to check social media on my phone until after I work out in the mornings. So back in January, my fiance and I joined a gym, and that's when we started working out in the mornings pretty consistently. And what I found myself doing was waking up at least an hour before the workout class because I wanted that time to myself. I wanted to journal, I wanted to read, I wanted to just wake up and let my head wake up before we went to the workout class. But what I found myself doing was checking my phone first thing in the morning and spending like half of that time catching up on social media. And not that I don't want to catch up on social media in the morning, but that time before working out was so precious because I would have to get up earlier if I wanted time to check social media and do all of those things before the workout class. So I implemented a habit where I did not check social media until after I worked out. So I would wake up, I would do all those things, go to the workout class, and then as we were walking home from the gym, that's when I would check my phone and catch up on social media, and it was working really well. And so I carried that over to the current situation. So we are still trying to work out in the morning. So I still get up, like, it's really more like 45 minutes now since we don't have to walk and get to the gym. So I wake up like 45 minutes before we're going to work out. I do the same things, you know, brush my teeth, rinse off my face, read, journal, just kind of wake up and then work out. And then I actually try to get in the shower as soon as I'm done working out. And I can't pick up my phone before that either. So I get in the shower, and then once I'm out of the shower, I catch up on social media and I just kind of relax and respond to anything I need to respond to. I wouldn't say that I'm spending less time on social media in the morning. I'm just shifting it to later in the morning, which I think is better for my headspace. And then the last category is loving. And this is just sort of the miscellaneous catch-all category. Is there anything else this quarter that I have been loving that I want to share with you? And the thing I have for this quarter is kind of ridiculous because it's really out of my control, but it has definitely been what I've been loving this month. And that is working from home. I love working from home. Now, I don't love the whole situation that's going on. I would like to work from home, but also be able to see my friends and have everybody be safe and healthy. But given the current situation that we're in, I really enjoy working from home. I like not having to get ready every day. I like working in my comfy pants that I talked about. I like being able to be home for lunch instead of having to pack a lunch. It's just so convenient, and I feel like I get more done. Like, I am much more productive. I'm not chitter chattering with my coworkers. I just feel like I get more done sitting at my desk at home than I do at work. And it's been incredible. It has definitely been one of the silver linings for me during this time, is this working from home situation. So that's it. Those are all the things that I have been loving this quarter. Let me know down in the comments, what is one new thing that you discovered this quarter that you've been loving? Any category. I would love for some more inspiration, some more ideas, and let me know if you like this new setup, if you like these categories, if you like doing these on a quarterly basis. I just can't commit to doing them monthly right now, but hopefully you still enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Happy planning. But for these, I got the extra large because I wanted them to be soft. They're already soft. And so it allows me to have